Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Chakras and Cuss Words podcast. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Catherine, and I welcome you. So today we are going to talk about this new moon that is occurring. We have a new moon literally right around the corner. It's like peeking at us, it's looking at us, it's ready for us to create intentions. So we have a new moon, and I'm literally pulling up the chart right now and taking a view of it. It is at 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 21st of 2025. This new moon is occurring in 28 degrees and 22 minutes of Libra. It is centered around that energy that the Libra brings as we are in Libra season. So let's get into the magic that this new moon is going to create for us. So this new moon comes with a lot of luxuriousness. It's in Libra, bitch. What did you expect? It's centered around the energy of desire, the energy around movement, the silk and the smoke. Silk and smoke reminds me of like a very karmic, charming movement. Like silk and smoke is like the energy of luxury. And I feel like it kind of reminds me of like old Hollywood. This new moon gives me like old Hollywood vibes. I love old Hollywood vibes. It's very magnetic and it's very alluring. It's cosmic. It's ready to stir things up in energies of the love life and also with the places of inner peace. So if inner peace or a sense of inner peace has been something that you've been working towards or desiring, this new moon is a great new moon to create intentions. But don't let the sweet Libra fool you, okay? The sweet Libra has a lot of energy. And this moon is coming with a lot of energy as this lunation is squaring with Jupiter. And it's sitting in the hot seat of a yod with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Now, this means that the universe is calling for us to make real alignments in energies of not just thinking we're making, creating, and moving, but actually doing the work of creating, moving, and working towards using a purpose of our alignment. And in prettier words, this energy is karmic. So this new moon has karmic tendencies. The last time we had a yod, I believe was back before eclipse season. I can't remember, but there's definitely been a lot of energy of creating alignment around movement with our boundaries and also movement with this area of Neptune and Uranus, where we're a little bit more rebellious. We are centered around our consciousness and also our area of responsibility. And it's time for you to cast your spell in movements of balance, harmony, and authentic connections. That's what the Libra likes. The Libra's energy reminds us that peace isn't about pleasing everyone. So a lot of times we fall into this people-pleasing motion. I mean, I do it. I fucking do it too. Everybody does it. It's about keeping our balance with ourselves. So this new moon will be making us look at our relationships and also recalibrate our relationships. How we see our partners, how we see our teammates, how we see the people that we work with, and the people that we do have relationships with. It's being centered around asking us to create a movement of harmony versus friction. So while the friction, and especially with the energy of Saturn and Neptune, might have a lot of dialogue, it brings that energy of weaving through it, of creating a cosmic harmony. So this moon kind of is like a cocktail. You take certain ingredients, you put them together, and you create something. We're looking to create beauty, truth, and also an energy of middle ground, of compromise, right? We're not compromising our dreams, as Neptune would put it, but we are being centered with our own authentic purpose, as Uranus would say, and we are seeing that we're creating the building blocks that Saturn would allow. So there's definitely room for negotiations, there's room for commitments, and there's even room for a little bit of flirtatious sparkle as this new moon is hidden from us. And this new moon is asking us to not just stay observant, but also to stay grounded. So don't let this new moon create an area where you feel truly unaligned because the energy of deep conversations have been occurring, or the energy of calling in certain real alignments have been making you feel a little bit shaken. So definitely take a couple steps back, breathe, and realize that casting in areas of balance and harmony for this new moon is very aligned with the energy that is occurring in the cosmos. Now, some of the ways you could do this is like through journaling. It could also be through deep meditation and also conversation, as we have it centered with the Libra, where the Libra is seen as a planet that is ruled by Venus. Now, this isn't just any other moon, but is definitely a cosmic invitation to create the energy of being centered with your power and also your peace, but not feeling so passive or submissive that the vixen feels unheard. So the Libra is known for working with the energy of intention around creating areas of balance, justice, and kind of having like a chef's kiss around this energy of beauty, charm, and aesthetic alchemy. It's very much a beautiful zodiac. Like when I look at the Libra, because it has that energy of Venus, it feels very outerly and also innerly aligned. So I would say for this new moon, I would definitely be working with the energies of glamour magic and confidence magic, especially around intentions. With your intentions, you're going to want to be Pacific. Now, a lot of people get a little bit nervous about being Pacific, but we have to remember that we are living in the energy of our alchemy and we are living in the present state. So, for instance, you are going to act accordingly as doing these intentions. So, you want to radiate your inner peace from the place of inner external, from the inner to the external. So you radiate your inner peace outward. You're going to set intentions that calm you, that make your energy confident, because nobody likes a fucking chaotic bitch. It's not classy. It's not sexy. It's not magnetic. It just feels very almost like pushing away certain movements or certain enchanting forces. So you want your aura to glow with grace and your presence to become magnetic without creating energies of chaos. Now, the Libra is an air sign, so it could be seen as kind of having a little bit of chaotic energy. And if you're an air sign, hey girl, hey. Oh, yes. But definitely look at where you can attract harmony versus creating multiple energetic movements that feel too abrupt. So the Libra's energy is about attracting harmony and healthy attention magnetically without working too hard. When we look at Libras, like let's look at some Libras. We have like Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, I believe also Leo DiCaprio. He has a huge Libra stellium, but he's a Scorpio. But we look at this energy of Libras and Libra's risings and also Libra zodiacs. We see that we want to create an connection that has a flow that's very natural. So attract people and opportunities to you, your worth, your ideas, your essence, all that will surface and show to the external when you accept that internally. So one of the things about shining from the inside out is you have to really understand and you have to really be confident to move at that speed. So for instance, beauty from the inside out comes with creating intentions that are pacific with movement. So for instance, as you sip your coffee, you could say something like, every sip, every word, every thought that I sip into brings glow. If you're centered around skincare, as you are doing your skincare, as you are moving, you can say affirmations, but you can also acknowledge the thoughts of your skin being more vibrant, being more beautiful, being more clear. If you've been having issues with acne, you could imagine yourself with clear skin. You can imagine yourself with feeling more confident in your skin. What does that version of you look like? How did that version of you get here? Also, when we are thinking about like working out and fitness, you're going to ask yourself, what is this version of me doing that I am not doing? So for instance, if you've been working out, and maybe you're not feeling any progress, you might be looking at, well, what was that version of me doing that didn't see the progress? Well, let's see. After my workout, I went and had like a big piece of banana bread. Or after my workout, I went out with my girls and we had drinks. And then after my workout, I did all these things that basically sabotaged my workout, right? So you're looking at that and then you're saying, but this version of me who is a little bit leaner, who is a little bit thinner, or who is a little bit more confident in her skin, didn't do that. This version of me went home, had a salad, maybe called it a cozy night and got like a blanket and watched some spooky movies, but didn't go out and create a whole bunch of intentions around drinking or around making habits that totally demolished my workout. So seeing how that internal energy of who you are in your confidence space radiates to the external. So you basically are acknowledging and whispering and seeking, but not seeking where it feels like seeking. You're seeing it in the current state. Your affirmations need to be in the current state. So this energy makes you like an ally with your thoughts and also with your internal practices. Now, a lot of people like to speak in energies of charms or spells or songs. I would get a song during like creating intentions that feel very universal and also feel very much centered around your purpose in the energy of glamour. A lot of singers do a lot of like glamour magic, confidence magic in their spell work. So listen for songs that feel like an energetic boost and also feel like a boost of confidence. We have to remember that speaking and singing your spells is magic, especially under the area of intention. So your voice, and as we are working with the Libra, who is an air sign and is centered off this movement of sound, it's very sweet. It's very nourishing to speak good intentions and clarity and also precision into who it is that you are, especially like if you're getting ready, you're going to want to incorporate that. So you're also going to want to align mirror magic with your glamour magic. I love mirror magic because it's really centered around stepping out, looking in the mirror, and acknowledging certain factors that you already love about yourself, but for whatever reason, maybe you haven't been acknowledging it. The Libra loves the aesthetic of balance and reflection and harmony. So find a mirror that feels comfortable to you, a safe space. You can use a vanity. A lot of people, have like their vanity as their, almost like their altar. You can have candles, you could have certain herbs or aromatics around you. You can also really indulge in the movement of looking at yourself, having that eye contact, having that energy of acknowledging that you turn heads, acknowledging that you embody the harmony of your energy. And you're definitely going to want to protect your energy before and after you do these type of intentions. For instance, if you came home and you thought your day was going to be amazing, right? You're playing out how your day was. You said good morning to yourself. You understood the rhythm of your day. You were ready. And let's say you spilled coffee all over you, right? And then you are just kind of feeling like, oh my goodness, this day was just so draining. When you get home, make sure you rinse that energy away from you. You can also do an area of cleansing and protection to rinse it away from you. And then you can take in some new intentions with your night care routine. So the next day you're feeling a little bit more positive. But glamour magic for this new moon, I would say, is a yes, yes, yes. Definitely a yes, yes, yes in the energy of intentions. Let's see the importance of the critical degree that this new moon is in. So this new moon is in Libra at 28 degrees. So each zodiac sign runs from 0 to 29. And the later degrees, especially 27, 28, and 29, are considered karmic degrees, or degrees that have a little bit more maturity. They hold deep in the energy of lessons, and they also hold deep in the energy of having a threshold of being centered around mastery and also transformation. So planets or areas of lunation, such as asteroids or certain karmic events, carry a feeling of having a story that's already been told. And we see that there's already the story that's already been told. This could be in our glamour magic. This could be in our area of metaphysics. This could be in the energy of how we are living in this timeline. So we acknowledge that this story has already been told. This version of us has already lived this area of essence, and we integrate it. And we integrate it in our everyday practices, and we will slowly evolve into this individual. We will slowly, and even in some areas, not so slowly, we will be living in this timeline that we've already seen, that we've already cultivated, because we are aligned with the energy of mastery and transformation. So the vibe of 28 degrees is a vibe. It's mature, it's refined, it's potent, it's classic. It's not chaotic. It's not urgent. It's not like a gush of wind. It is very more refined and more like a nice summer breeze. Now, nobody wants to be in a fucking hurricane, right? So we can't live our life as people who are stuck in a hurricane when we're thinking about air signs and when we're thinking about life in general. We have to live our life in a calm breeze movement. And while we are dealing with wind and air, we have to understand that too much wind can knock us off our feet. So we have to have that energy that feels aligned and centered with a very potent, classic, and mature nature to it. So this means that we might have to resolve some unfinished business, if this could be emotions, if this could be wisdom, or if this could be unclear circumstances. So we really seek in the movement of evolution. So ask yourself these questions. You can use these as journal prompts as we are looking at 28 degrees. Have you learned your lessons of this energy enough to move on to the next chapter? So if you notice that something keeps coming back up, or some intention isn't really moving forward, have you learned your lesson of this energy in a mature factor to create the next chapter. I'll be honest, sometimes this is very hard because this is acknowledging that you've learned your lesson. Maybe you've been very immature in some of your relationships. Maybe you haven't expressed exactly what it is. Maybe you haven't corrected people when they brought imbalances to your life. Maybe instead of taking a couple steps back and expressing how you feel in a calm manner, you're very chaotic. You're yelling at them, you're screaming at them, or your energy feels very abrupt and almost abusive. It feels very unaligned with a mature, refined, and potent nature. So look at this. Look if you've really created an area of awareness. You might want to heighten your self-awareness during this time, especially if you're being met with a lot of blocks. So if you're being met with a lot of blocks in areas of intentions, areas of, self-confidence, areas of relationship, areas of movement, you're going to look at your self-awareness. At some point, we have to acknowledge that we have to take accountability for our own actions. So for instance, if we were in a relationship and we don't feel heard, we don't feel listened to, we don't feel like our opinion matters, we need to ask ourselves, why are we still in that relationship? We need to ask ourselves what it is about that relationship that makes us feel like this. Are we not expressing ourselves? Are we allowing a partner to take a hold and take control of the relationship where we just feel totally not potent? We just feel totally neglected. So you need to acknowledge what's going on. You also need to make a choice or a decision in the energy of moving forward after self-awareness. So you definitely want to pull towards the movement of closure and the movement of leveling up. So 28 degrees is seen as a very almost like fame degree, mature. It's like the high priestess. It is the Queen of Swords. It's very centered around being mastered, being connected, being aesthetic. And it also shows of learning of deeper truths and peace. This degree teaches us boundaries are beautiful. It also teaches us that you can't please everyone and you can still be whole and you can still be you without pleasing everybody. You're not meant to please everybody. You're meant to please yourself and cultivate a life that feels 100% beautiful in your essence and worth being here for. Relationships will evolve, though hard conversations occur. Relationships will evolve while hard conversations occur. It's allowing those conversations to take place. But when you are centered around avoidance or centered around shutting down or not expressing or not sharing that energetic movement, the relationship will stay stagnant. And then also you have to look at the relationship. Is this relationship with self? Is this relationship with an external partner? Is this relationship something even worth holding on to? When 28 degrees occurs, we definitely feel that there is an area of reclaiming our power, and it could be our interpersonal power, it could be our energy, our power with relationships, but it speaks truth with the grace that we have, and it allows us to see that there is a balance. There is a balance of movement. Now, 28 degrees, when we are looking at the area of Libra, I'm going to say, I definitely think that there's a movement of relationships being mature and cycles closing. So this can be personal relationships. This could be relationships with self. This can be relationships with others. You're understanding that saying no is beautiful. Allowing a relationship that is not centered with poise, with areas of affirmation, areas of loyalty, needs to have a cycle of closure. Understanding that after you have done your self-awareness. So you're going to declutter your mindset, Decluttering is much more than decluttering your house. It's decluttering your mindset. That also means decluttering your beautiful habits of self, decluttering the energy of your collective, decluttering more than just the external, but also the internal as well. Now, decluttering is also very important during this Libra moon, because when we look at areas of the classic, glamorous, magnetic aura that the Libra brings, the Libra is not going to have a bunch of shit everywhere. The Libra is going to be centered around peace, harmony, and movement. So there's definitely things, objects, people that you can clear out. If you haven't been working with this in the last year, why is it still in your space? You're centered off a beautiful magnetic aura. You don't need a lot of things blocking this aura. You don't need a lot of things blocking your flow of manifesting growth, of manifesting movement, of being unaligned in your frequency. This could even mean throwing away some things that are very personable and very much centered around sentimental value. At some point, especially if it's blocking you from an old relationship, that block from the old relationship is still coming up, declutter it. Beauty as well. If you have a lot of old makeup products, get rid of it. You're definitely going to create areas of new intentions. So if you're walking around with a makeup palette that you haven't used in 3 years, you're probably not going to use it again. Throw that shit out. It's probably expired. So declutter it all. We have to understand that mature, classic, glamorous energy does not have a bunch of shit in its way. It does not have a bunch of expired makeup. It's at a higher frequency. It's at a higher center of movement. And that is basically how you're creating this area of mastery, is acknowledging that at 28 degrees, it is a mature, it is centered at a fame degree. It's like the public figure, the artist, the influencer, the area of the collective as we see these late degrees. And we're going to be living within that mature mindset, especially for this new moon in Libra. Let's get into the area of one of the most enchanting and very misunderstood energies of astrology and also the feminine archetype. So that is the Venus energy. This could resemble the planet. This could resemble just the archetype alone of Venus. But Venus isn't just about like beauty and romance. It's really like a divine embodiment of attraction, value, connection, and also creation. The energy of Venus speaks volume in the movement of a goddess who reminds us that life can be sweet, sensual, and worth loving. So the Venus archetype is really almost seen like a sacred feminine desire. The Venus energy is such a lover girl energy. It's very artistic, it's enchantress, and it brings that harmony, just like the planet and the movement. And Venus, with her ruler energy of Taurus and over Libra, we see how Taurus is very earthly and Libra is very aesthetic, centered around harmony. So she teaches us how to receive, how to adore, and how to honor our beauty in self and also our spiritual pathway. So you are already worthy of this energy, and you have probably already engulfed this energy into your own movement. The pleasure of Venus is sacred. The pleasure of this energy lights up the world and the energy of femininity all over the place. It's really a beautiful connection. So with this new moon, you are going to want to connect with that movement of the Venus archetype. The core themes to Venus is love connection, how you give and how you receive love, your language of love, your area of magnetizing, not just yourself, but others. Also valuing your self-worth and valuing your relationships. Also, the outer appearance and the internal appearance. Remember, beauty comes from within to the external. What you consider beautiful, what you consider worthy of beauty, both in yourself and also in others. The art and the aesthetic that Venus brings. And remember, the art and aesthetic that Venus brings is going to look different for many of us, but we will see how it resembles with each of us. The energy of your color, of your eyes, your hair, your skin tone, the texture of your skin, the texture of your presence in this world, enjoying the music, the senses, and the pleasure and the sensuality that this Venus energy definitely withholds. So the Venus archetype through the signs is similar but different, and we're going to talk about it. So Venus just doesn't chase the energies that she wants to receive. She embodies them. She attracts them. The Venus energy says yes to being aligned and no to what is not working for her. So with Venus in Taurus, we would see it as the earth goddess, the energy of pleasure, loyalty, scent, and touch. Very loving and comfortable and stable, a very natural beauty. The Venus in Libra would be the muse, very charming, stylish, and a little bit diplomatic, of course, seeing that energy of balance, and finds beauty in relationships, art, and conversation. A Venus in Scorpio would be definitely the siren, I would say the modern mystic, a little bit of dark alchemy. It feels magnetic, it feels mysterious, it feels transformative, and it feels like an energy of rebirth of not just self, but also other people around them. The Venus in Leo is definitely the starlit, the radiant energy that's very dramatic, and it celebrates life and it rules the energy of art and being adored. Now, I'm not going to give all 12 of the zodiacs, but a Venus in Pisces does feel like a very much of a dreamer and a romantic movement. It feels very like holistic, and it feels very like out of this world in some ways. It's healing and it loves that spiritual placement and experience. But with every movement of Venus comes an energy of shadow. And we have to remember that we are approaching our pre-shadow season for our next Mercury retrograde. So there is always that side of the shadow because the shadow is us. So the Venus energy that could be a little shadowy is sometimes we tend to put ourselves so easily available to others. That could be people pleasing. That could be losing self-worth in our relationships. It could also be overindulging, needing validation, and needing the energy of luxury or comfort at all cost, where we're keeping up with an expectation that is unrealistic. There's also energies of an attachment to external beauty and not seeing the inner glow. I will tell you, I've definitely met people who are beautiful on the outside, but their inner personality feels very toxic and just yucky. Jealousy, comparisons, and competition, forgetting that our beauty is unique and allowing ourselves to compete with others and really seen as somebody who is trying to take down somebody else to prove their own interpersonal confidence. That's not glamour magic. That is not the energy of Venus that we want to tap into. The modern Venus magic that we want is understanding that we are centered on self-adornment, of self-love, dressing like the self that you embody in your future self, knowing what your divine archetype looks like, if that's playing in the energy of Venus, the siren, the maiden, the Senora, the energy of the vixen, whatever it is that your archetype speaks to, understanding that you need to take the time to smell the fragrances that you put on your skin, the bodies, the oils, the energy of devotion. It's much more than just creating a movement of luxury for self. It's also understanding that you embody it, not just for vanity, but also for self-resilience. Surrounding yourself with beauty, that could be mirrors, that could be flowers, that could be artwork, that could be beautiful fashion, beautiful clothing textures, understanding that you are that deep, enthusiastic movement of frequency that not only do you seek, but that you enjoy and you love. Speaking self-affirmations like I am magnetic, radiant, beautiful, and I am deeply deserving of love and energies of beauty, and understanding that the Venus goddess is you. You are that mirror of the Venus goddess. You are that archetype. You are that energy. Having fun with your body, understanding your body is your sacred temple, honoring your body and honoring your skin, your hair, your eyes, everything about you, and seeing how you can take in this magic and creating new intentions for this new moon in Libra and really having fun with it. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. Please like, comment, let me know what you think about your Venus archetype and how do you plan on taking in this moon magic. And don't forget to share this with your witchy bestie. Bye.